love isn't enough. You can love a man with your whole heart. You can cook for him, support him, stay loyal, be intimate, stay patient, and even sacrifice your own needs just to make him happy. And yet, he can still pull away. He can still grow distant. He can still shut down emotionally or worse, leave. But here's the part almost no one talks about. Men don't leave because of a lack of love. Men leave because of a lack of something deeper, something more primal, something more powerful than love itself. There are three emotional needs that are stronger than love for men. Three needs that, when unmet, quietly sabotage even the most loving, committed relationships. Most women don't even know these needs exist. But once you do, you'll understand men on a level 99% of people never reach. And when a man feels these three things from you, love becomes effortless, connection becomes natural, obsession becomes inevitable. So let's begin. Before I reveal the first emotional need, let me ask you something. Have you ever given your all to a man only to feel like it still wasn't enough? If you've ever wondered, why did he pull away when I loved him so much? Why do my efforts never feel like they land? Why does he act distant even when I'm giving everything I have? Then what I'm about to tell you will change how you see men forever. This isn't manipulation. This isn't game playing. This is pure behavioral psychology, and you're about to understand the emotional blueprint that governs male connection. And trust me, the first one is not what you think. If you ask most women what a man needs, they'll say things like love, loyalty, comfort, maybe physical affection. But if you ask a man who is emotionally aware and honest, he will tell you respect. Not fake respect, not forced respect, not the I respect you because I'm supposed to energy. Men crave earned respect, the kind that makes him feel admired, seen, valued, capable, trusted, not as just your boyfriend or husband, but as a man worth admiring. A man can be head over heels in love with you, but if he feels like you constantly doubt his abilities, talk down to him, correct everything he says, or treat him like a project you're trying to fix, that love begins to rot quietly. Not instantly, not dramatically, but slowly, like a silent crack in the foundation. Why? Because biologically and psychologically, men are wired for status, capability, and purpose. This doesn't mean he wants to be a superhero or a CEO. It means he wants to feel like the woman standing beside him believes in him. A man feels emotionally secure when he knows you trust his judgment, his decisions, his direction, his intent, even if he's not perfect, especially when he's not perfect. Imagine this. He offers you a solution to your problem. He's trying to help. He's trying to show up. And instead of saying, that makes sense, let me think about it, you say, that won't work. You don't get it. What happens? You didn't just shut down his idea. You shut down his sense of value in the relationship. He begins to wonder, why do I try? Why doesn't she trust my judgment? Why does she see me as incapable? And once a man feels useless, he starts disconnecting emotionally. Not because he wants to leave, but because he no longer feels like a man in the relationship. Most women give love the way they feel loved: reassurance, emotional closeness, affection, comfort. But men bond through respect, through feeling, trusted, believed in, capable, valued. Men don't want praise. They want to earn your admiration. Because when a woman respects a man after seeing his flaws, after watching him struggle, after watching him try, it hits him in a place deeper than love. It hits his soul, and that's when he bonds hard. But respect alone isn't enough because the second emotional need is even more primal. And once you understand it, you'll understand why a man who loves you can still feel replaceable. Let's move into something most women underestimate, something so deeply rooted in male psychology that even he doesn't fully understand it. It's called the hero instinct. Now wait. Before you roll your eyes or think he doesn't need to be a hero, let me explain what this really means. This isn't about rescuing people or flexing muscles or acting like some Marvel character. No, this is about a man's need to feel useful, capable, valuable, irreplaceable in the life of the woman he loves. Most men do not bond through emotional conversations the way women do. Men bond through action, through doing, through showing up. A man doesn't think, I love her, so I will tell her how I feel. He thinks, I love her, so I will do something that makes her life easier. And here's where the psychology gets interesting. When you allow a man to help you, even in small, simple, everyday ways, you awaken something primal inside him. You give him purpose. You give him meaning. You give him a sense of identity because to him, purpose is love. Think about this for a moment. Why do men light up when you say, I'm glad you handled that? Or, I always feel safer when you're here? Because those words don't just compliment him, they validate his core masculine identity. Men don't want to feel admired because of ego. They want to feel admired because it confirms I matter to her. I'm important in her world. I'm not just loved, I'm needed. And here's the dangerous truth. A man who doesn't feel needed eventually feels replaceable. Let that sink in. Even if he loves you deeply, even if he's committed, even if he never says it out loud, if he feels like anyone else could play his role in your life, he starts emotionally withdrawing. Not because he stopped caring, but because he stopped feeling essential. Men secretly fear one thing being just another option. They need to feel like they provide something specific, something meaningful, something only they can give you. It could be emotional support, stability, protection, guidance, problem solving, physical presence, or simply reliability. But if he feels like you don't need him in any of these ways, then no amount of love will make him feel fulfilled. Because love without purpose feels empty to a man. When he fixes something for you, when he tries to offer a solution, when he steps in during a stressful moment, when he checks on you, when he shows up without asking, these are not random actions. This is his way of saying, let me be important to you, let me matter. And when you allow him to be that safe space, that steady foundation, that quiet strength behind the curtain, he bonds with you on a level deeper than romance. This is the point where a man stops wondering whether he is loved and starts feeling like he is purposeful. Imagine you're stressed, overwhelmed, or tired, and he notices. He steps in and says, don't worry, I'll handle it. In that moment, he isn't just helping you. He's fulfilling the one thing every man craves to be your protector, your support, your calm in the chaos. And that moment burns itself into his memory. Not because of what he did, but because of how you made him feel when you received it. A man will walk away from a woman he loves, but he will never walk away from a woman who makes him feel needed. But here's the thing. Even respect and purpose aren't enough to keep a man connected at his deepest level. Because the third emotional need, the one nobody talks about, is the most powerful of all. It's invisible. It's quiet. It hides behind silence, jokes, and distraction. But once you understand it, you will understand the real reason men open up to one woman and stay guarded with everyone else. This next. Need creates the kind of loyalty that no beauty, no passion, and no love can ever match. Let's talk about the emotional need that men crave more than they crave sex and more than they crave love. This is the emotional need most women never think about and most men never talk about. But it is the one thing that bonds a man to a woman on a level deeper than love, deeper than passion, deeper than physical connection. It is the need for emotional safety, not soft words, not comforting hugs, not I love you. I mean the freedom to be emotionally naked without being judged, corrected, or shamed. Most men grew up being taught one thing. Real men don't cry. Real men don't get scared. Real men don't talk about feelings. Real men stay strong. So what do? They hide everything. They hide fear. They hide stress. They hide loneliness. They hide insecurity. They hide exhaustion. They hide doubt. They hide pain. They hide overwhelm. They lock every emotion behind their ribcage and pretend everything is fine. And the world rewards them for it. Behind every strong man is a little boy who was told, don't be weak, stop crying, man up, handle it yourself. So, as adults, most men don't know how to open up. Not because they don't want to, but because they don't feel safe enough to. They've carried silent battles for years, private storms that no one even knows exist. And yet, Beneath all that armor is a simple, quiet desire to feel safe enough with one woman to finally put that armor down. When a man finds that, when he finds a woman who creates that space, he bonds to her in a way that is almost unbreakable. Most people get this wrong. Emotional safety isn't fixing him, telling him what he should do, correcting him, lecturing him, telling him to get over it, dismissing his feelings, comparing him to someone else. Emotional safety is letting him talk without interrupting, letting him be silent without demanding answers, letting him breathe without pressure, letting him feel without shame, letting him unravel without labels. It's the kind of quiet support that says, you don't have to be strong right now. You don't have to pretend. You're safe with me. No judgment, no criticism, no mocking, no belittling. Just space, just understanding, just presence. And this is where the psychology gets fascinating. Research shows that men produce oxytocin, the bonding hormone, more intensely during safe, judgment-free emotional experiences than even during physical intimacy. Read that again. What truly makes him fall for you isn't what you wear. It's how emotionally safe he feels beside you. When a man can be soft with you, when he can let his guard down, when he can show you the parts of himself nobody else sees, that's when loyalty becomes unshakable. That's when love becomes devotion. That's when connection becomes irreplaceable. Because he's not just giving you his heart, he's giving you access to a part of him he doesn't show to anyone else. And that is the deepest gift a man can offer. Picture this. He comes home tired. He sits on the edge of the bed. His shoulders are heavy. His eyes look distant. His chest rises and falls with quiet exhaustion. And instead of asking, "What's wrong with you?" or "Why aren't you talking?" you sit next to him, not pushing, not demanding, just being there. Minutes pass in silence. Then finally, he exhales and whispers, "I'm just overwhelmed." That one moment, that one safe space, becomes the place he returns to again and again. Not because you solved anything, but because you made him feel like he didn't have to be perfect to be loved. That is emotional intimacy. That is psychological connection. That is the loyalty men never walk away from because women give what they need: reassurance, affection, emotional conversation, caretaking. But men bond differently. They bond through respect, being needed, and emotional safety, not constant attention, not pressure, not over-explaining, not pushing him to open up. The woman who understands these three emotional needs is unforgettable to a man, not because she's the prettiest, not because she's the most popular, but because she speaks directly to his emotional survival system. She becomes the one he trusts, the one he confides in, the one he chooses, the one he never wants to lose. So now you know the truth. Love alone doesn't hold a man. Love alone doesn't keep a man close. Love alone doesn't make a man stay. Because for men, love is the result, not the foundation. The real foundation is built on three emotional experiences that shape how deeply he bonds with you. 1. Respect that feels earned. 2. The freedom to feel like a hero. 3. Emotional safety without judgment. Let's recap them in a way that hits the heart. A man can love you deeply, but if he feels disrespected, criticized, or belittled, his soul starts to suffocate. Respect is not worship. It's not blind approval. It's seeing him as capable, reliable, intelligent, valuable, worthy, not perfect, but trying. Men don't want respect handed to them. They want respect earned through effort, through struggle, through the way they show up. When you give that kind of admiration, you awaken the masculine instinct that makes him protect you, commit to you, and prioritize you above everyone else. This is the part women underestimate the most. Men don't bond through long emotional conversations. They bond through action, through doing, through feeling needed. When you let him support you, guide you, protect you, or simply show up for you, he feels like I matter. I'm not replaceable. She needs me in her life. And a man who feels needed is a man who sticks around because purpose is to a man what emotional bonding is to a woman. It's the invisible thread that ties him to your life. This one is the rarest gift you can give a man because most men have never experienced it. Not from parents, not from friends, not from society, and definitely not from past partners. Emotional safety isn't fixing him, it isn't judging him, it isn't pushing him to open up. It's giving him a space where he can breathe, collapse, confess, doubt, break, feel, and rebuild without feeling like he's failing as a man. When a man feels emotionally safe with you, he doesn't just love you. He becomes loyal to you. He becomes protective. He becomes invested. He becomes emotionally anchored because for the first time, he's not wearing armor. And he trusts that you won't hurt the unarmored parts. That is the deepest intimacy a man can experience. Women tend to give men what they need: reassurance, affection, emotional sharing, verbal love. But men don't bond through those things. Men bond through being respected, being needed, being emotionally safe. And the woman who understands that, she becomes unforgettable. Not because she's more beautiful, not because she's more experienced, not because she's more available, but because she speaks the language of a man's emotional DNA. She becomes the woman he compares every other woman to. She becomes the woman he thinks about at night. She becomes the woman whose absence he feels physically. She becomes the woman he never wants to lose. So, if you ever wondered why wasn't love enough, why did he pull away even though I gave my all? Why didn't he stay even though I cared so much? Now you know, because love is the flower, but respect, purpose, and safety, those are the roots. Without the roots, the flower withers. With the roots, the flower becomes unstoppable. Give a man these three things, and you won't have to chase him. He'll chase you, he'll protect you, he'll choose you, he'll stay with you, not because he needs to, but because he can't imagine his life without you. If this resonated with you, take a moment and ask yourself which of these three emotional needs surprised you the most. Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more insights just like this from the world of human behavior, relationship psychology, and the hidden truths nobody tells you, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because here on Dark Psychology, I'm Amelia, and my mission is to help you understand the truth behind human emotions so you never feel confused or powerless again. Music.